Game number 3 is going to be on Accolon Wastes. Thank you for joining us, everybody. I can see around about 700 people in the chat, not too bad in the stream, not too bad at all. We are here for game number 3, starting down at the bottom right-hand side of Accolon Wastes on this desert map, very akin to his Australian home. It is Exile 5's PiG. Well, when I say Australian home, obviously I mean Central Australia, not where he lives, because as far as I know, there's no deserts in Sydney. Are there deserts in Sydney? I'm not sure. You guys can confirm that one for me. Up at the top left-hand side, as our French Protoss player, he's a wonderful analytical commentator and a great addition to any team, but he is also still a wonderful StarCraft 2 player. We are, of course, speaking of XMG ToD. Someone pointing out in the chat there again, Too Easy actually mentioning that ToD went for a Zealot Archon HT style in one of his games against Stefano. I think I saw the last remnants of that one. And it was really interesting. He didn't go for like any Void Rays or anything like that. It was really weird to sort of see that kind of style. But we'll see what he's going to go for in this game. It looks like it is going to be a Gateway Expand. PiG is looking to go for, I would assume, a spawning pool. Yeah, he's going to set up a spawning pool and just play a nice safe game. So he's not going to go for a triple hash before pool or anything risky like that. ToD, of course, as we said before, a very high quality Protoss player. You don't really want to risk that too often. You can throw that little gem out there from time to time, the old blind triple hatch before pool, but you know, I probably wouldn't risk it, especially with some of the cannon rushing that we've seen ToD going about through this day. So ToD opening up with the 1 gas, no second gas, so he's not going to be getting out any sentries or anything like that, at least not initially. I would say it's probably going to be a mothership core coming out from him. Zealot does get started. PiG has his hatchery on the way from his natural. Could be a 4-gate, could certainly be a 4-gate Nemesis, but I don't know if that's going to happen. Maybe 4-gate off 2 bases, we'll see. So who thinks, ToD again. Apparently his mouse is bugged. You need a reboot because you have a cursor issue? Really? Come on, ToD. Come on, buddy. It's all good. Just, yeah, Alt-tab back out and then come back in. Post in the chat what you think is going to happen in game number 3. I want to see the, I want to see how many bases we'll have when a GG occurs for PiG. And I want to see how many bases we have for when the GG occurs, whether it be his or PiG's, I mean, for ToD. So... You guys need to see this. Wow, it came back, you genius, after alt-tabbing back out. PiG on 8 bases, ToD on 1. I like that prediction from Too Easy. I also want to hear what your favorite soft drink is. Maybe, actually, if you're American, I mean like soda pop, I think you guys call it. But what is your favorite soft drink or soda pop? Is that how you say it? I think that's how you say it. Anyway. Yep, pretty good tech support here. Dr. Pepper, yeah. Mountain Dew, I was waiting for the Mountain Dew. But anyway, PiG gonna scout through. We can see that there are a couple of Lings just making their way inside. Probably not going to get a probe kill, at least I would think not. I take it back, he gets 1. PiG's going to be reasonably happy with that. I wouldn't think that it's very often you get 2 Lings inside like that and actually get a kill off. But as we can see, ToD is setting up for a 4-gate. Getting prepared. He might actually put some early pressure on. PiG did take a 3rd base, and as far as I know... No, he hasn't actually started Metabolic Boost. So this, you know, we did see a very similar opening to game number 2 between Starnan and Pig, where Pig had a similar sort of situation where he didn't necessarily have the Metabolic Boost started straight away, and, you know, he got it at around about the 41-minute mark, but he was still able to deflect an early 4-gate push with just some Slowlings and some Roaches. So we'll see if that is going to come about again from the Exile 5 Zerg player. ToD getting prepared. Pig gonna scout out what's going on. Does see that there are 3 gates here. He of course knows about the one inside the main base, and as we can see, it looks like Pig is gonna have to get prepared because the probe is now on the way out. I'm sure he would have seen that as well. ToD now on the way. He's got 4 gates. They will switch into their warp gate mode in just a second. Fun fact, when Pig played Protoss in the beta, he actually didn't use warp gate tech because he thought it was bad because he couldn't queue up units. And now, as we can see, the Mothership Core is going to make her way across. The Queen's going to come out to try and deflect that. 7 Roaches on the way. Still no Metabolic Boost, so Pig just seems quite comfortable with defending this without Metabolic Boost. And I am certainly cool with that too, because I'm totally stealing this strategy. But ToD now coming across. We'll see how powerful his 4-gate opener is compared to Starnan's. As Pig prepares his Roaches, he's trying to get them all grouped together. We can see some of them just hanging out here outside the natural base. But the Zealots make their way inside. There are 5 Zealots here. And it looks like they will get some decent damage on that hatchery. And in fact, it is going to be very, very close to death right now. But I believe it is not going to go down. The last Zealot is taken out, and the hatchery is still alive with around about 150 health there. Queen warps in, and a queen comes out of the hatchery. She's going to force back that Mothership Core, and Pig is going to be very safe after deflecting this attack. So he's done it again. He's sort of just held this off very, very simply without the Metabolic Boost or anything like that. The only reason, guys, that I'm ranting on about Metabolic Boost is that a lot of people believe you can only hold off that kind of attack when you have Metabolic Boost, and you know, obviously, as Pig has demonstrated here, it's not necessarily required. So he is going to have to deal with this pylon. I'm a little bit surprised that he's let that go. ToD's going to warp in 1, maybe 2 Zealots if he can get that second one in on time. Yes, he does. They're going to come across and try and take out this hatchery. As we can see, very low amount of health on that. Zealous is going to charge forward and try and deal with it. Pig rushing back to try and defend against that. And hatchery down to 57, 36, 29. And it goes down. Wow. Pig a little bit sloppy there, not defending against that attack. Unfortunately, he sort of let the pylon go, so ToD was able to get the kill there, which you probably wouldn't have expected there, which is a little bit unfortunate for Pig in this stage. He's got the Forge now researching, +1 to weapons. ToD also has a robo facility on the way. He's going to be, he should be fine against any possible counter pressure that Pig tries to put on, but Pig is going to have to reinvest in a hatchery over here. And we'll see how ToD is going to proceed from this moment. I would say that maybe, given the fact that he's taken out the 3rd base already, ToD may look to try and go for another push on this with some Immortals or something like that. But we'll have to see, because it looks like he is trying to deal with a little bit of a Roach infestation at his 3rd base. Pig getting caught out by some force fields. Look at that. That is some damn good force fielding here at the 3rd base by ToD, doing an excellent job of holding in those Roaches. Pig is going to lose these for virtually nothing. He has taken out some of the units of ToD, but I mean, that is a really good transaction there for ToD, and he's going to look to try and possibly push back across the map. Some sentries, some zealots, a single zealot and some stalkers going to make their way across to the 3rd base. They're going to see what damage they can get done. Pig is up to a total of 56 drones right now. Not a huge total, but it is, you know, it's getting there. And we'll see if Pig is going to be able to defend this attack, because he has spent a little bit of time setting up a bit of an economy, and of course having to invest another 300 minerals in that hatchery. And if ToD takes this down, this could be a very, very tough moment for our Zerg player here. It looks like ToD is going to get in. He's going to walk his way back to the backside of the mineral line. And, you know, if he can force field out correctly, there it is. Very nicely done by ToD. I have been very impressed with these force fields from the Protoss player. We can see he's going to try and move to the backside, and he is forced to recall out. But ToD is in a very strong position right now. He has banked up a lot of minerals, which is a little bit unfortunate here for him. And Pig has kept this third base alive, but the question will be for how long can this stay alive, because it looks like ToD is going to set up for another push very soon. A second forage on the way. Blink is now being researched. For Pig, we've got, he's going to bank up a little bit of gas so that he can get some mutas out, and a +1 to the air attack is also on the way. So it looks like we will have a Roach Warren researching the Roach movement speed here as well. Infestation Pit is done, so the option for Hive is there, but I would presume that Pig is going to stay away from the Hive tech for a lot longer than we would normally see here. So he's going to get out just enough units so that he can defend against this attack. It looks like ToD is preparing for that push out that we mentioned before. Blink Stalkers, they're going to have their +1 on, +2 on their weapons perhaps when he moves across, but ToD now has a Warp Prism. It looks like he might try and get a little bit of a Warp in down inside the main base. Where is that Warp Prism going? We can't really see where it's going just as of yet, but the Warp Prism is on the way. I would guess that Pig may have seen that on the minimap there, but the main thrust is coming through the middle of the map here, right through the middle. ToD pushing forward with a large contingent of Stalkers. They've got their +1, they have their +1 armor as well, helping them out with dealing with those Lings quite a bit. Also, it helps with the Mutalisk quite a bit as well, because the double bounce from the Mutalisk, it means that if you have some extra armor, it can really help out. So ToD is looking pretty solid at this point. He's up to a total of 65 workers inside his bases at the moment. Pig coming back across with these mutas, looking to get some damage done. Caps a couple of probes, but unfortunately, oh wow, ToD, he sort of activating that Nexus cannon a little bit late there. Not too many workers killed overall, but both players just continuing to try and re-establish the foothold they have on their economy. Of course, Pig is the one who is a little bit behind in that regard. He's up to 67 drones right now and is looking to take a 5th base up towards the top right-hand side. Pig also has a 4th just inside this area with the rocks, but the rocks have not been dropped down just as of yet, so this base is a tiny bit exposed. And speaking of exposed, 5 Zealots are now on their way in towards that base. The Warp Prism is going to drop in 4 Zealots inside the main, and ToD is going to execute some really annoying harassment here inside the main, inside the 4th base as well. The Roaches and the Mutas are forced to sort of just dislocate all of their units here, but in fact ToD will get pushed down to the main base. The Mutas are going to come across and get rid of that Warp Prism, and the Zealots down at the attempted 4th are also going to get taken out. And with the Warp Prism gone, ToD's harassment potential has ended there at the 4th base. So it looks like ToD was looking to come back across for some of his units as well. Some excellent force fields yet again from our Protoss player. It looks like he's done a wonderful job there, bringing the units back. Blinks back across. He does a little bit of a jump and says, alright, I'm coming back across here, as we saw. But the Mutalisk count has really grown. We've now got a total of 24 mutas out on the map. They've got their +1, they have +2 on the way. We can see that ToD has a 3rd base nicely saturated, and especially saturated with cannons. There's no real damage that Pig is going to do there unless he really wants to commit a lot of these mutas to the battle. But now they're going to fly inside the main yet again, as we saw in game number 2, very exposed inside the main base to Mutalisk harassment. ToD is his probes are getting in the way of the Stalkers there. That's quite cute, but a lot of damage now being done by Pig. He's also pushing at the front door. Roaches trying to see what they can do at the front here, just trying to pull ToD all over the place. The Mutas now with their +2, +1, +2 is on the way, just trying to kill off as many of those Stalkers as he can. Pig is really, I'm not sure about that trade of those units there, but he is now continuing this harassment at the front. His supply up to 170. He has macroed his way back into an excellent position here. He is continuing this harassment and has forced the mining of ToD to run dry for a little bit there, and he is down to 51 probes at this point. The mutas now inside the main base have also done some really good pressure, and ToD is down to 48 drones, 48 probes I should say at this point. Is that split mutas? Wow, that is really impressive to split the mutas up like that and attack at multiple points. Nicely done by Pig. Macroing up back at home. More mutas now popping out. +2 is about to kick in for these mutas. The Spire has just finished up that upgrade. Another hatchery being finished up inside the main. The what is that? That's the is that the 7th? No, that's a 6. You can't count, Duckville. It's too late in the evening for me to be able to count stuff. Anyway, 6 base on the way for PiG. He is looking wonderful from a macro perspective. 79 drones are out on the map. 6 bases almost complete for the Zerg player. ToD stuck down on 3. It was looking like he was in an excellent position himself on 3 bases, but now his opponent has been able to pull him across the map, utilizing these mutas. They're +2, doing a little bit of damage to some of these stalkers, but they are forced out, and PiG has made his way inside the main base. Lings are all over the place. It is an infestation inside the main base. Lings are going to get torn apart by the cannon and also the DT that is there, but there's just stuff. There is just stuff everywhere for ToD to try and clean up here. He does not have his own cleaner, unfortunately, so he's going to have to call Jim's Cleaning, because there is no way that he's going to be able to clean up all of this without it costing him too much. The mutas coming across, taking out the cannons in a 3rd base, and that is going to expose the probes to next time the stalkers are out of town, because now, as we can see, PiG has been doing some really good damage inside the main. 33 harvesters for PiG because he has been losing his own. Some DTs, I am really sorry I missed that. We did have a War Prism coming back across. It has dropped in some DTs and some Zealots, but it looks like PiG has been able to do so much damage himself. He's taken out a Nexus. He's almost done he's done a lot of damage inside the main, but PiG has suffered his own attacks down here at his main base. So his drone count has been reduced to 38, so we have missed out on a little bit there, guys. Again, I am really sorry I missed that. But the mutas fly back, going to clean up the Warp Prism, and he just needs to find this DT. If PiG can just double check, where is that DT? There is another DT up at the 5th base here as well. But, you know, after this is all cleaned up, ToD is not exactly in the best of positions right now. He's down at he is at 128 supply. He's got a very formidable army. We've got these 203 Archons. We've got a lot of Stalkers here as well. The problem is, as soon as he leaves, these probes are dead. There is no way in hell he's ever going to be able to save those. So what he's going to do is continue on with this harassment. Very nicely done. Drones are finally safe now from the DT in that base, but there is a Zealot across at the 4th base as well. ToD is just trying to keep this base alive. If he can keep these probes here, that'll be pretty handy for him. The Archons coming across, they're going to be prepared to throw up the Pimp Fist to push back the mutas, but we can now see that PiG is up to 55 drones. He's starting to claw his way back up in the drone count. Probes slowly getting taken apart by some of these mutas. The Stalkers blinking forwards. They do have their +3, so they do quite a lot of damage. But the big question is, will ToD be able to compete when you know, that big push comes? Because it looks as if he is getting ready. He may want to try and push across the map. He does not know about this base. He has no clue that this is here. He may see it with his push out, but as we can see, very, very cleverly, ToD has decided to keep his Archons here. There is one thing which people always say, is that you cannot base trade with a Zerg player when they're in mutas. Wrong. You can base trade if you have Archons to defend. And ToD has left a huge amount of those Archons there. He's now sending those Stalkers forward. The Archons will protect the 3rd base of ToD, and there isn't much at home for PiG to defend his own bases. So we can see that some Lings are going to pop out. The mutas are trying to do what damage they can. Mutas coming forward with the Pimp Fist. 47 damage on those guys. The big fellas with their 47 splash damage, doing a lot of work there. And PiG could be in a bit of trouble down here. 112 supply. He is slowly falling apart now. It looks as if PiG may lose this game. We'll see if he's able to hold it together. We said that before in his game against Starnan when it was looking very, very troublesome in game number 2, and he was able to bring it all back. So we'll see what PiG can do. Mutas have come back across. Archon is going to be very scary to deal with here for PiG, so he is going to leave that alone for the moment, trying to chase down some of these Stalkers. He's brought it back up to around about 120 supply, and with this base still alive, but ToD will finally know that that's there. He's now seen the creep, although then again in game number 1 of our Star Station versions of our remakes, he didn't actually know that creep does not spawn at a base. But anyway, Stalkers now coming through. We'll see what they are able to do. Looks like he's going to push forward, and I think that ToD may be able to take this, but the mutas deciding that it is not over yet. Comes through, targets down the cannons. No more mining at this space for ToD. He's going to lose some of these Stalkers that are here as well. Archon need to be careful of that guy. Lings now making their way inside the natural base, and they are going to town on all of the probes that are in here. Roach is now coming through as well. They're going to do what they can inside this base, but the DT is going to be able to help in soaking up some of that damage. ToD has now moved through. He's taken out the 4th base. The hatchery is gone. The drone's gone. As we can see, see ToD coming back with some of his Stalkers and the Archons. There are a few units inside the main base, but you know, they're not actually going to do too much. Just a few Lings and a couple of Roaches there. ToD trying to walk his way through a forest of spine crawlers here. Not going to do too well there. He will be able to take some of them out, but I think that ToD will eventually be deflected while the Mutas are still trying to find a sweet spot to attack into this third base. A very, very back and forth kind of scrappy game here from these two players. We've been losing units and hatcheries and buildings and all this kind of stuff all over the place. The worker count is down to 22 for ToD. He has no gas coming in. He has not resupplied the probes on these two gases at this third base. He is still trying to deal with cleaning up all of these Zerg units that are inside his main base, inside his third, inside his natural. All the bases are covered in units, but they have finally been pushed away. PiG struggling to bring in his own gas. He's only just bringing in a tiny bit right now. Long distance mining from this base. There is a DT and a Zealot that are going to go to work here, and that hatchery does go down. So ToD has been, these guys have just been constantly exchanging here. It looks as if PiG will still control the air with these Mutas though. He does have a total of 5 Mutas out, 21 Roaches. There are 37 drones for PiG. But the big issue is there is not much detection out on the map for him. We'll see what these 20 Roaches can do. The drone's getting in a little bit of trouble right now. Spore Crawler is attempting to finish up. PiG is going to see it. There we go. Finally is able to take care of that DT, and this base is going to stay up for the moment as the Roaches now look to push across. It looks like these Stalkers are going to catch them though. A little bit of an overextension there from these Roaches. They're just going to get away. At least some of them will be able to get away. PiG attempting to re-establish this hatchery here. If he can get the gas coming in here, that is going to be very, very key for PiG at this stage. Mutas now flying through the backside of the main base. They're going to look to try and take out some of these pylons. Would be a good target for him. Gonna get rid of one, but this means that his base is now very exposed. PiG gonna pull back the drones from this base, actually running all the way back. I think, yeah, he's gonna run all of these drones back here, but they are not even safe. A Zealot has made its way across and is gonna do some damage in there. Stalkers, Archons, doing all sorts of good damage here at this base, but ToD is slowly losing some more of his probes. We've got the probe count now down to 27. But it is just the 24 drones for PiG, and he's still losing some at this base. He did not notice until right now. Would love to see a couple of these spine crawlers re-burrow down here at this base, because now he's been forced to cancel another base just towards the top right-hand side. ToD does not know that there is another attempted hatchery here, and well, this game is just so back and forth between these two players. But ToD is now back up to 116 supply. We can see that there is a well, the last of the Mutas are still floating about trying to do what they can. The upgrades, of course, let's keep in mind, ToD is on 203 at this point. Not too bad for the Protoss player here. Meanwhile, for PiG, we've got 2-1. That's 2 on the carapace, 1 on the missile attacks. Of course, those Mutas do have +2 on their air attacks. They're going to try and come back through and get some damage done here at the, well, the natural, no, the main, no, the natural. They're going to come across, trying to find some of those probes, but a cannon is there and should be able to defend against that. But the big force of ToD is now making its way across. This base is very, very exposed at this point. There is no way that PiG is going to be able to save this, and he probably was the majority of these drones running through, trying to escape, head for the hills, they say, and it is just a little bit too late, losing a lot of those drones. PiG now down to just 12 drones, and this is looking very grim for the Australian Zerg player. He is trying to get something working here, but the hatchery is just constantly getting taken out by DTs and various proxy attacks. These two Mutas trying to find some more damage here, but just not enough space. The cannons zoning out those Mutas there. And it looks very, very promising for ToD at this point. He's got his probe count up to a total of 33. His opponent is just sitting on 11. And what could be the last attempt of PiG to take a base here does get destroyed. Spore Crawler goes down. Extractor is next on the menu for these Stalkers, and ToD is now, looks like he's making his final death march against the forces of PiG, and we see a GG. Well played.